Step-bro.
Step-bro. What are you doing?
Alright, we got some shit to talk about this week. I actually got some shit right here.
That's good because
All kinds of shit.
That picture is promising. It's sad that we have to just go into
Yeah.
Y'all know what I'm talking about, the picture?
Yeah.
Okay.
No,
okay.
there's a lot of I saw Tarquin's tweet. Yeah. We'll get to it. But anyway, what's up? What's good? Welcome back to the Wavelengths Podcast. It's your boys, as per usual. Favorite Halo YouTubers with the best hair in Halo, and we're back at it again, like a month and a half later, or however long it's been. We're here to talk about some shit. We're here to podcast. It's just the three of us this week. I'm Clay, as usual, joined by the boys.
it's just the three of us this week.
Well, the last episode we had Jen on.
I'm stuck with these assholes.
Yeah. No, I mean I get that.
That's
but-
fair.
No guest this week is what I was getting at.
Wait, hold on. No guest this month.
No guest this month.
Let's get
Sorry,
that
right? Yeah.
Let's
On
get
this
that right.
episode of the podcast, we have
And for the
guest.
record, because I have been bitched at just a little bit, we are aiming to do this podcast slightly more consistently than we're doing it at the moment. But there just ain't shit going on at the moment.
hard to.
Yeah.
Bro,
Like-
I'm pretty sure we've said that like every
Yeah,
episode.
but just
Okay,
as a simple reminder before we get into this shit.
Before this episode, where we were like, "Oh, we should do it with Jen," it was literally Cole and Clay being like, "Can you watch Justice League so we can podcast?" And I was like, "Fuck Justice League! I'm not about to
Right,
watch that."
because literally
shit.
we didn't have
They're
shit
like,
else
well,
to
then
talk
we have
about.
No talking.
We didn't have shit else to talk about, so we were like, watch Justice League. Which, for the record, I liked the Snyder Cut. I don't think many other people did.
I didn't watch it because fuck Justice League. I wasn't gonna watch it.
I thought it was real good. I liked it.
I fully believe in DC's, like Robert Pattinson.
Yeah, the new Batman
movie.
I mean,
believe
that's gonna be
believe in
cool.
that.
I'm hyped about that.
I believe in that. I believe in their animated films. Their animated films are good, but other than that,
Look, I hated the DC EU, like all of the movies, like Batman v Superman. I thought it was all trash. Up until recently, and I watched Snyder Cut, and literally on rewatch, it made those movies better because there's bullshit that happens in like BVS. Like there's like a whole ass dream sequence that doesn't make sense without the Snyder Cut and shit. So it was literally like I hated those movies for years and years, and then watched them around this time and didn't hate them. They're still not that great, but I enjoyed them.
Still not great, but maybe they're getting there.
But just to
6 out of 10.
yeah, I thought I would give it like an 8. I thoroughly enjoyed it, especially the Flash and the Cyborg. Motherfuckers were the MVPs.
I
6.
enjoyed the first 3 hours were pretty enjoyable, and then the last hour they crashed the train, and that's how I feel.
The
I like
first
the
act
ending.
was great.
Kal-El showed up.
The-
Kal-El showed up, and they crashed the train.
I like
what
the
happened to
ending.
me. That's how I felt.
I didn't think they
all I
did.
know about that movie is they did some weird shit with Henry Cavill's mustache, and his
That
lip
was
didn't
that
look
was in the
real.
first one. That was in the 2017
That was in the first
yeah.
one, right? Because they had to.
Because he was
reshoot
shooting
that.
Mission
He had his
Impossible.
mustache grown out.
Yeah, because he was. Yeah,
Remember that movie?
So they had to CGI it off.
I didn't see
It
that movie,
was.
but I did see the bathroom fight scene, and that shit still bothered.
That movie was pretty good.
Apparently, Henry Cavill, that wasn't part of the scene. They were like, just feel like you're gonna get in a fight where he like fucking
did the-
loads his
yeah.
fist.
Oh yeah.
I was like, oh my god, that's badass.
hard.
Who does that?
I just want to take this moment to say the Mission Impossible franchise is dope.
It is.
It's good.
Still.
It is. It still is.
It's good.
All the movies are good. Still is.
Yeah. I watched
So,
I watched that
so
movie.
is the best one
I
now.
watched the one with Henry Cavill. I watched that shit on a cruise ship. It was fire. And then then they had on Solo the night after, and I watched about 25 minutes of it before I gave up. That movie fucking sucks.
I forgot that I watched all that movie. I watched it. I forgot that I did.
I don't really remember much from it, but honestly, I went in there being like, this movie's gonna be so fucking stupid.
And it was.
And the whole time, I'm looking at Dipshit's face that I can't think of his name. The main dude.
I don't think he was bad as Han Solo. Everyone else thinks that he was
It was
bad.
fine,
I
but
didn't think
just the whole thing, man.
No.
It just
He was fine as Han, but he doesn't look like
Exactly,
Han, man.
yeah.
It doesn't
he
work.
doesn't.
yeah.
He
He was.
doesn't.
It
doesn't
wasn't
work.
his
You can
fault.
give him the same haircut. It doesn't
okay,
fucking
okay.
work, dude.
Who do you cast then?
Not him.
Somebody that
I'm saying, like
him.
he did a
Ooh.
fine job, but they just should have picked
That's not
somebody
my
else.
fucking job,
Right?
dude.
Exactly.
I don't know, man.
You didn't know who that
And then
I
just
know.
the whole
before they
thing,
cast him in that
like
role
he's
either.
waiting in
Seriously,
line.
know.
He's waiting in line to try to
I
go
guess,
save Amelia
you know,
Clark,
I guess,
and they're like, "Yo,
whatever.
what's your name?" And he's like, I don't have one. He's like, well, where are
He
you
had a
from?
weird-
And he's like, I don't have any people. Oh, so you're Han Solo.
They didn't cast his dumbass in
Stupid ass movie.
Blade Runner 2049.
Yeah.
Han Solo's
Nobody's
a
walking
dumbass
around looking
name
at him being
anyways.
like, "Is that Harrison Ford?"
Yeah, dude, thanks.
Like, and dude, there's too many examples of like really great, excellent casting work, and other like they could have done a better job.
I couldn't ignore it.
No, the perfect
His
casting
performance is
was in
fine.
Chapter
Plus,
2.
Donald Glover.
In Chapter 2 had the perfect casting.
Donald Glover was trying to fuck that robot
Version.
and shit at the end.
Bro, that was hot though.
No, bro, that movie
know
was
why.
bad. Yeah, bro.
She
In
was
chapter
bad.
2,
The robot was bad.
facts. That robot, that she was sexy. But
She just knows the map to my heart.
Oh,
Wait, what are we talking about?
we're talking about the robot that.
Donald Glover, he tries to fuck the
In Solo.
robot in Solo.
Yeah.
She ends up becoming the brain to the.
Yeah,
Which
yeah, yeah,
I
right.
think that's pretty shitty. Is that like Han isn't a great pilot? It's the fucking computer.
Everything about that movie, just like I didn't need that. Why are you telling me
Daddy
this?
CPU.
Stop! You're making things canon that are stupid.
CPU's a fuck. Yeah, your CPU's a baddie.
Oh my
Oh,
god.
dude, look, hey, I finished the season 2 of Mandalorian. We can talk about that for a second, real quick, since we're on Star Wars.
Both seasons of The Mandalorian, super fire.
Good. Actually, my one thing is that I didn't like Luke coming back. My big thing about The Mandalorian is that I like how it felt like it was its own island. It was Star Wars, but didn't have to
Yes.
connect to any of the shit.
And now, dude,
Although canonically, does it kind of make sense that Luke is the one to reach out to him?
Yes.
I still think that it would have been cooler if they're reaching out and they got Ahsoka, and
Yeah,
that's
why the
how
fuck
it
did
has
they-
a small connection to Clone Wars. But I feel like just tying it directly to Luke. They already had the casting for Ahsoka too. You didn't have to do the weird de-aging
Right.
shit. There was a bunch of stuff that you
Yeah.
could have done. I think that what's it called? Boba Fett coming back. I'm indifferent about it. I'm not
Well,
a huge fan.
And now
I
he's
think
got his
that's the
own
thing is that,
series,
like,
so he's
the
gonna be off
big
doing his
thing-
own
Boba,
thing.
he gets his own thing. The big thing about what I felt made Star Wars bad is that it's like, here's how it's connected to the great. It doesn't have to be. It doesn't have to be.
Sure.
Whereas like Marvel, it makes sense because in comics, they
Right, all those
they're on
characters
the same
interact.
planet,
That's the whole point.
Star Wars is in a galaxy far away. Like, fuck, dude. Like,
Yeah, that's why
Come on,
people
man.
love
Yeah,
all the
dude,
old
the
Republic
Rebel-
shit, is because it's like it's cool and it's Star Wars, but it's its own thing. They're like, this exists like
yes,
3,000 years before the
Dude, I-
movies or whatever.
all right, and there's like, right, there's the Empire, and then there's the Rebels, the Rebellion, whole operation that's happening on many planets and a whole bunch of different areas. Not everything's about taking down the
And
Death
that's
Star,
why the
you know what
Clone
I mean?
Wars is
Like,
cool, is because the Clone Wars doesn't really follow a structure. It just jumps around and shows little different stories from around
Right.
like the Clone Wars.
Yeah, no,
exactly.
I just gotta say, yeah, I don't agree with the choice to bring in Luke back because it looked bad, and I understand why it looked
Yeah.
bad, right? It didn't look real. Okay, but why would
That
you
technology
then?
They
was
did
has to
they
catch
did the
up.
same shit
So why
that they
would
did
you
in
create
Rogue
that
One.
problem for
That's
yourself?
what I'm saying.
By like introducing him as a character, he has to show back up because Baby Yoda's not.
But
That's
like,
not the, what,
did you see, like I would
you
have?
know, like
I'm okay with the fact.
Gorgu or whatever the fuck they
Grogu,
named him.
yeah,
Gregon.
Gregon. Yeah.
Fucking they what is the they named him Qui-Gon. They just renamed
Yeah.
him. Just
Grogu, bro.
make
But nah, so
Can't think of a
I
worse
didn't-
name. By the way, that's a terrible name for that.
his name is like Glugon or something like that.
Blue John fuck.
There was Yoda and Yaddle, and then there was Grogu.
Yeah.
Yaddle's a fucking dumb name
Nah,
too.
that shit's hard, bro.
Yaddle's a dumb character to include into the canon because they
Yeah,
complicate
Yo,
things.
relax.
They're like,
And you kinda-
who's that Yoda in the
What is
back?
with the
It's like,
Yaddle
who the fuck
disrespect?
cares?
Relax.
Like, I'm sorry, Yaddle's a
You didn't
dumb
have to name
It's
drop
nothing
like
against
that.
Yaddle.
That's wild.
Like, I don't like my name. I don't like the name Justin. People can roast me all about it. People
What's
do.
wrong with Justin?
Yaddle. You gotta see it. You
Oh,
gotta see it
right.
coming.
Also,
Justin
I gotta say,
Bieber, Justin Case,
Boba
Justin
Fett.
Timberlake.
Boba Fett
Bieber.
wasn't that cool, man, and he doesn't get to show up with his armor and be like, "I'm badass," and it doesn't work. You gotta actually convince me that you're cool, and then you're gonna just
Yep.
turn around and be like, "I get my own series," and it's like, I don't care.
All that I know about Boba Fett is that motherfucker got ate. That's it. The sand ate him. That's all I know.
I mean, like, look, here's the thing is, like, Boba Fett was cool and iconic just because he looked cool and iconic, but he never actually did anything that cool in the original trilogy. He was just one of those fan favorite characters because he was enjoyable and he was cool and badass and he was
And he
memorable.
went out sad.
This was the opportunity to make him cool, and they didn't. And like,
Well,
and okay, so they used the same guy that was Django. That's cool. That's a cool choice.
I
They
think
did.
the
Cool,
upcoming
cool.
thing
I'm with
is
all
their
that.
choice
But he's
to prove
old,
that it's
and then it's
cool.
just like, Yeah, but
Yeah.
I mean, all right, you're right. They have that chance, I guess, but I feel like this was the real chance because you didn't rope me in to watch the stupid
Sure.
Boba. I don't give a
Right.
fuck. I don't care. And then they take Sniper Bitch from the end of season 1, and they're like, "You're in that show too."
I, as a Star Wars fan,
Sure.
rather enjoyed it.
I didn't hate it.
Those are the only things
Yeah,
I
I
didn't,
didn't
like
hate it. I
about
just-
Mandalorian. Other than
Yeah.
that, I thought it was fucking phenomenal.
Loved Bill Burr in it.
Bill Burr
Again,
was funny in it.
yeah. That was good stuff. The whole
Yeah,
taking
no,
his
I
helmet off
didn't,
and shit. Also, for the record, I didn't hate the fact that Luke came back, but I did hate the face, like the de-aging CGI.
Yeah.
That shit was just
Like,
goofy as
I
hell.
get
It looks
like I
bad,
said,
and you
I
create a
just-
problem for yourself by
Exactly.
making that like
Yeah.
now he's in the
Well, plus,
story.
did you
That's
see
why I
did you
didn't
see
like
all
that.
the pictures that were going? Cole, you might have missed this because it was all over social media, like at the time.
At the time, yeah.
But there were so many pictures of people posting side by side pictures of young Mark Hamill and fucking the dude that plays Bucky, Sebastian Stan, and literally like their facial structure and everything was fucking like identical and shit. And looking at that, I'm like, I would have rather they would have just brought a guy in and like maybe he had his hood up or some shit, like anything but that goofy ass
Did she-
PlayStation 2
Yeah.
face.
Yeah. Or
Why
give
is he
Sebastian
look-
Stan some fucking contacts and some
Right.
makeup.
It's
Yeah,
like
Make it
when they
happen.
were seeing like when he first shows up and they see him like in the security cameras, like that was cool because it was kind of like, oh, it's like, is it him
Well,
or
yeah,
not?
and you see the hand, and then you see the lightsaber.
Right.
There's no more doubt left in your mind if you've actually seen the goddamn Star Wars movies,
Exactly.
or if you live on planet Earth, you know who the fuck that is.
And they have it, or because that's like a dramatic moment or something.
And he pulls up in the X-wing. I mean,
Right.
I knew it when they said that,
They-
right? Most people did. Oh, it's an X-wing. Oh, fuck it, it's Luke, right? Like, okay.
Yeah. Dude, no, you know what would have been cooler, in my opinion? And this is like just coming to me now. Like, imagine they set it up, it's someone in a hood, they have a green lightsaber, they showed up in an X-Wing, you're expecting Luke Skywalker. It's not him, it's
Jar
some
Jar
dude who. No.
It's Darth Jar Jar, bro.
Misa gonna take
Jar
you to
Jar
the
Jar.
Misa take you to the Jedi. Misa gonna take a baby Yoda to the Jedi.
It's like he's Grogu.
Shit.
Yoda.
And then then the Mando's just like, I'm not
I'm
giving
not,
it to you,
no.
bro.
I'm not
We're
doing
not-
this shit.
You're not going away with my kid. You look like you're on a list somewhere.
Yeah.
I just can't trust you.
Yusuko choose death then.
It's just voice jokes.
Jar Jar finally comes out, bro.
Finally, he reveals himself,
Then Star Wars finally ends. The end. No more Star Wars ever.
and they were like, "Haha, bitch, it was him the whole time."
It was me the whole time.
Exactly, bro.
Oh, shit.
But I think it would have been cool if it was like a completely different character that no one knew about.
Yeah.
Maybe you
Star
pull
Wars-
some like
Star Wars fans
storyline
would've been
from
pissed
Star
about
Wars
that.
Legends,
dude.
and then you can even extend that and make a different series that still has Grogu as like a tying point, or like something to tie the things together. And like now you're seeing like him and his training, but it's still about like the new Jedi, like almost having him as like a support character as he like grows up and maybe becomes the main character in a different series. I think that would have been super cool. It gives you more Star Wars content, more new Star Wars content that doesn't have to be connected to other shit. And like maybe at the very end of this whole series that you do, you go, okay, and now he has his own movie about his journey and like where it's going. Maybe that's too long term. Maybe I'm just dumb. That's a lot of content. That's
But
really cool.
but also since The Mandalorian has come out, they have released the first couple episodes of Bad Batch, which I have not watched yet. But
I don't know what that is.
it's
the
it's the new
Clone
animated
Wars,
thing.
right?
Yeah, it's made by
we
the
said we
people
were
that
gonna
made
watch
the
it
Clone
and never
Wars.
did it.
Yeah, but it's done by the Clone Wars people, so I assume it's great because the Clone Wars is great.
Even the 2D animated one, like the one that was in the Cartoon Network shorts,
No, that one was fire. That shit was fire.
Yeah.
I have that shit on DVD.
was
over
animated.
there.
animated by the same people who did Samurai Jack, and was it just Samurai Jack?
I think
What else
so.
did they? I feel like that guy did something else. But
It was
Yeah,
fired.
yeah. No, that shit was super fire. Yeah.
also, go ahead.
I was
I'm talking
if you had some shit else to say about Star Wars, I was about to move swiftly on with that
Yo,
shit.
shut the fuck up, Justin.
Dude,
All right, let's start talking about Nerd Wars.
I say, who would have thought we
Star
would open
version.
up the fucking podcast talking about Star Wars?
Cole's
I don't even
most
like
hated
that
series. I was
Right?
about to say.
I'm
Cole's-
surprised Rogue
Cole-
One didn't come up anywhere in that.
If
whole-
if there's two things Cole hates the most, it's Star Wars and Suicide Squad. It's those two. It's those two movies.
No, Jesse passionately hates Suicide Squad. I watched Suicide Squad and I was
Cole
like, oh,
passionately
shit.
hates Rogue
Let it-
One.
I let it go. Rogue One is the one that keeps me awake.
And Clay loves
I don't
both of
even.
those
No, I
movies.
don't love that movie, but I just genuinely I don't understand what is so bad about that movie.
No,
It's not-
that's
it's not great.
That's
Yes.
like
yes,
an
you
inside
do.
joke.
I've explained it to you multiple times, and you know exactly what's not good about that movie.
Dude, it's not great, but it's not bad. You know what movie's bad? Solo. That movie's bad.
He didn't say Suicide Squad.
Suicide
This is
Squad is
why-
also a bad movie, and I'm interested to
That's-
see the Suicide
That's
Squad.
an objective. Like, there's no opinion. Suicide Squad's a bad movie.
Yeah.
Everybody knows it.
That shit's ass.
Movie's ass.
No, and I straight up went around telling people that Clay loves Suicide Squad.
What?
Clay loves
You've been
all the
capping
Batman
on my
movies.
name about Suicide Squad?
I told everyone you think that movie's a banger. I
What?
was like,
You
bro, he
can't-
likes Rogue One and he likes Suicide Squad.
Oh
I can't
my
trust this man on
God.
movies.
Can't decanonize that either. That shit's canon.
Yeah, this shit's canon.
It's in the
You like
DCU,
Suicide-
bro. You like Justice League? You like Suicide Squad.
You like
You
Suicide
said you liked all of them.
Yeah, you liked all of them.
Dude, fuck.
He also likes Last Jedi, but I'm also still indifferent. I went from being like, you know what, Clay's not wrong about Last Jedi, to like, no, fuck Last Jedi, and now I gotta watch it again, decide where.
I will say this. This is my opinion at this point after the new trilogy of Star Wars movies. First one, Force Awakens, is okay. It's literally just a copy of A New Hope. It's fine.
Yep.
There's nothing wrong with it. Last Jedi has some really cool pieces.
Yes.
Killing off Han in that movie was unnecessary and weird.
But
I should've done
Harrison Ford wanted Han Solo to die forever.
Yeah,
That's
he
fine.
He
Yeah,
hates
they
the
didn't-
character.
I know that. That's fine. They didn't do a good job of writing that character out. Father, you have to help me kill you right now for no reason and throw you off the fucking side of this thing. And Chewie's gonna get pissed.
I thought
I
I thought it was fine.
I think the reason why it happened was cool. I don't like the way it happened.
Sure.
Because
That's what I
like
mean.
the reason no, but you said the reason was bad. I think the reason was fine because he has to like
I was
let go.
describing
Of,
the
Yeah,
scene.
the whole him.
I was saying when it's like, come out on this bridge right here. And I'm
Yeah,
like,
no,
like,
the
that's,
bridge with
like,
no railing was
setup's
dumb.
bad. Like,
Yeah,
come
yeah.
meet me with this gun.
Yeah.
that's what I'm saying. Like that was bad.
but yeah,
Fighting
just to
gun,
quickly,
that shit.
what I was gonna say, that movie's
But
okay.
Yeah, no, yeah,
Last
that was okay.
Jedi has some good pieces, and Rise of Skywalker, from start to finish, is fucking horrible. That
Except
movie-
for that
sad
scene
because-
where they're fighting by the ocean. That shit
Yeah,
is fire.
that's-
Cool.
that-
Yeah.
There's a lot of cool looking scenes.
But just
Yeah, no, I
just the
mean-
fact that they tried to pull like Star Wars Endgame at the end of that movie when the whole point of the last movie was that no one showed up just absolutely pissed me off. And that movie sucks.
Yeah, I mean, from the very get-go, there's like the Sith temple off. It's like, oh,
Bro,
shut
and then
up, dude.
Kylo Ren
I'm
like
out. I'm
he's
out.
bad,
Like-
but then he's good, but then he's dead, but then he's not, but then she's dead, and then he like gives up his life force for like him, and then they kiss, and then he dies.
And then she has a yellow lightsaber at the end.
And she's like, "I'm Rey Skywalker." Fuck that movie. Anyway, moving swiftly
Also,
forward.
why did she bury the goddamn lightsabers? Why didn't she like fuck that? Whatever.
I don't
haven't
know.
got time to-
I don't know. None of it makes any
we don't
sense.
got time for all that.
you know what would have been way cooler is something where
A good
like,
movie
yeah,
instead.
like Mark Hamill's like, yeah, I do train like people to use the Force, but he still had his fuck the Jedi ways. Cause like that was a really cool concept. How he was like,
Grey
you
Jedi?
know,
And then we got Jaded
Yeah.
Luke. Yeah, the Great
yeah,
Jedi.
Jaded Luke was cool in that like he saw how the Jedi was like a failing concept,
Right,
and
because
so
he was correct about that. People didn't like that he was all moody and shit, but he was correct about like
No,
the
he
prequel
should-
era
he-
Jedi being like corrupt and like
yeah, like
ways
he
needing to
saw
die
how
and
it
shit.
like that's really cool that he was like, oh, I realized I was preaching something that is the reason why my father ended up the way that he was, and I
Right.
don't want someone else to go down that path and like creating something different from that. I think that would have been really cool.
then Yoda's
And
ghost
you
grew in the
create-
tree.
You create a morally ambiguous character that creates more morally ambiguous characters.
Look,
But-
visually, the new trilogy was a masterpiece.
Yes.
Yeah,
There was a lot
If
of-
you look at
it
the
was-
script,
it was beautiful.
You get dick. so.
the way that what's his face.
But they
died.
didn't even
I
give
don't
us, bro. They literally didn't even give us like cool Star Wars moments, bro. Literally,
No, they didn't.
Luke's
Yeah.
holographic projection fought a thing, and
Oh,
that
that's
was
trash.
it.
And they did. Clay, you
Ah!
right. Tell me I'm right. There's not a lightsaber clash in that movie. No lightsabers touch each other in
No.
that movie. They don't.
because
Dude,
because
I was
Rey
talking to-
and
I was
Kylo
talking to my
Ren never
friend
even
who I'm
fight
going to
after the
not
first movie.
Name drop, but he was like, "That's got some of the best action of any of the Star
All
Wars
that
movies."
ocean
And I'm
shit.
like, how on earth could you possibly have that opinion? Look, best action in the Star Wars universe, hands down, Episode 3, Revenge of the Sith.
Prequels, bro.
No question.
Yeah, I
No
have.
question.
Yep.
Plus, we used to even before the recent Star Wars movies came out, we used to even joke about like I would say that like I like the Phantom Menace, and then I'd get shit for like the Phantom Menace. But like literally after watching those, like I don't give a fuck. After watching the new trilogy, I love all 3 of the prequels. Those movies are fire. I don't care.
Like they're
Their
victim of being like
their childhood is fuck.
Yeah,
they're
Rose
like
glasses.
Phantom
I don't
Menace,
hate-
Attack of the Clones, all of them.
Yeah, I don't hate them. I really don't.
Yep.
There's some parts that I feel like, you know, it's like they're kind of a victim of being movies made in their time, and that kind of sucks.
But also,
yeah,
I've said this
You know what's
before,
like that?
and I will stand by this because this is a conversation I've had with Jesse several times. But I think the Star Wars prequels are so close. They're just like 1 or 2 degrees off from being like the best movies ever, like just the coolest movies ever.
Jesse's super
Yeah.
passionate about wanting to rewrite them,
And
because
there's just too much goofy shit and just too
If they
much politics.
with Darth Jar Jar, that shit would have been the best shit of all time.
And then we bring him into the Mandalorian. He kills all of them. It's dope.
He kills
the best
Master Chief
way-
and Baby Yoda.
The best way to consume that content, though, to make it like the perfect way to consume those movies, play the Lego games. The Lego games of the prequels are fucking fire.
Oh, we were
Oh,
talking about it
talking
earlier
about
today.
that. Yeah,
I've been
earlier
playing the Lego games. I just
Dude,
ran through. I'm playing
they're
Lego
so
Harry Potter
fun.
right now,
They're
which is
so
fire.
fun.
I just played the Lego Marvel games, which I had never played before. Those are fire. And then at some point, I'm gonna play Lego Star Wars again because I haven't
Which
played
is
that shit in a few
multiplayer.
years. Which is multiplayer. Yeah, you can play that shit with I think 2 people. Wavelengths series,
Cool.
Lego Star Wars.
If
Yo,
we can get
plus
3 in there.
there is a new Lego Star Wars game coming out. It's Lego Star Wars. It's called I think it's called the Skywalker Saga actually. And it's movies 1 through 9. And then they said they were doing all new levels for like 1 through 6. So it's not just like a re-release. of those.
So
Full
that
ass
will
new Lego
definitely
Star
be
Wars. Yeah,
that will be Wavelengths content.
we'll have to play that
Batman
and like
Lego
Gotham
games are
Knights.
also good. We haven't even got to fucking Halo. We started this call like
Yeah.
30 minutes ago. We've probably been recording for like 20.
Like 20 minutes
20.
in. But
Yeah.
yeah, just really quickly, but before we get into some other stuff, just wanted to say a little bit of a belated happy 100K to Nick, our boy Uber Nicholas, hit 100,000
Let's go.
subscribers on YouTube, and I'm pretty sure we've all already congratulated
yeah.
him and shit. But
we were in the chat whenever it happened.
yeah,
Remember? Yeah.
yeah. So we watched him hit 100K on stream. But yeah, just wanted to formally congratulate Nick on 100K here on the podcast. That's our boy. You know we love him, and we're gonna get him on the podcast here at some point.
Wavelengths, hear me and hear me now. I will never go on your fucking podcast.
We were making that joke yesterday too, bro.
Well, now he's way too big for us. We can't get
Thanks,
Yeah.
bro. He's too famous.
no
Man.
shot.
If I could get that edited somewhere so I can send it to him, that shit would be funny.
But
Wavelengths, hear me now.
but also in just another real quick what the fuckery, Hook got benched in Call of
Bro,
Duty.
I
The
think
kid.
it should have been Venom. However, I think it should have been Venom's. However, like Hook has been benched twice now, which
Yes.
sounds to me like he plays a certain way. And
Did you
unless
listen to
team
the
is-
flank?
I listened to the flank, and I listened to another podcast I highly suggest that I don't think either one of you listened to. But 2 Times the Grind with PJ and Lottie.
No,
That's
I
a
actually
fire ass podcast.
I actually have not listened to any of that podcast yet.
It's really good. They give really good information, and a lot of the times they talk about COD. And I've
Yeah.
been listening to a lot of COD podcasts. But I don't know. I don't know what the fuck's going on with Hook, bro.
Yeah, a lot of that's a lot of what they were talking about on the flank was they were saying like we got to assume like he just has a
Yeah.
play style that doesn't mesh with people, and he was like because if you look at like the majority of the teams that he's been on, and they cited like remember like Envy in World War II, it was like Slasher, Hook, and Temp in them, and they were just like top 12 all year. They just fucking sucked.
Look, here's what you do if you're Seattle Surge. You drop all of your players next year. You sign Clayster and you sign Hook, and you get 2 other good players. I think Clay could play
I think Clay
The
could play
way
with Hook.
I think Clay can play with Hook, and I think that them two together would probably be a championship team, like dominant as FaZe, more dominant than FaZe. Like
at this point, I am inclined to agree with you.
Yeah, you get them two, give it a BZ, and who's a good flex player? Who's like a solid flex?
Oh, fucking anybody.
Why is it seems like Hook didn't have this issue when he was playing Halo though? Because he kind of only went on the way up. He played with Denial, then he played with E6, then he was on Envy, and then
maybe because he had to learn the game.
Yeah, well, also
maybe he didn't have like a leadership mindset of like I'll make the shot calls and I'll be pissed if we're not playing the way I want to.
I don't think he has a shot cally way. I think he just has a certain way of COD that he plays that makes him explosive, that just teams aren't really looking for anymore. Like teams aren't looking for a singular individual player to like completely, I guess, change the team. Like many teams are now so teamwork oriented. Like the Atlanta FaZe team, like they have nasty ass players, but they also like their coach is really big on teamwork.
Yeah. Plus they have Tupac running their S&D game behind the scenes as well.
Back from the grave.
But then also, what was I gonna say? You think you're so funny, Justin?
Dude, Cole shook his head, and that's what killed me.
No, I have no comment on it. Do we have topics that we should be talking about, Clay?
We should be talking about.
No, these. I just wanted to talk about COD real quick. We don't talk about COD on the podcast.
Look, man, it's been what, 2 months? We gotta talk about a lot of things. I guess.
But I've been enjoying watching a lot of COD recently, and I'm excited because that shit's going back to LAN, and I'm excited to watch it and shit. But yeah, what I was gonna say a second ago before Justin totally threw me off, was that was the whole reason. Like that was LA Thieves whenever they made the whole switch to bring TJ back up in bench Hook. That was what they said like in their release, was they were like essentially like TJ's numbers might not be that great like on paper, but he's gonna make the right like team play as opposed to might go win a gunfight somewhere else on the map type shit. So.
The big talk is that basically like players want players that are good, like individually, but they will take people who will go to the right spot off the spawn every time.
Right, who are just rock solid in terms of knowing how to play COD correctly.
Yeah. That's the big turning point that I'm talking about with COD, is that's just what's happening. I think it's cool.
Yeah.
I think Halo already made that decision a long ass time ago.
But it's interesting. There's been a lot of talk because now Hook has been benched by 2 top teams, and so there's a lot of like, sort of curiosity about.
He's only a top team though.
LA, well, even if
LA was a top 4 team before they
made the switch.
They're a big market.
They made the but then they were top 4, and then they made the switch for Hook, and then they dropped to like top 6, top 8. So they were like top 4 before that. But essentially, what I'm getting at is like whether or not his stock is going to be impacted at all, like whether or not it's going to be harder for him to go anywhere else because of that.
Yeah, it's
especially because LA just bought him out for X amount of hundreds of thousands of dollars.
Yeah. No, it's not a good look. You got to think about it like this: if you're acquiring him as an asset as the Thieves, and then you bench him instantly, what does that say about the stock you just put into him?
Exactly.
Like, it just says you made a mistake and nobody else wants to make that exact same mistake. So they're not going to buy out his contract unless they're fucking desperate. And
well,
maybe Seattle would try to get him, but
right. Plus, you look at the teams that are
sure they're going to say that, but the point is like it doesn't look good when he gets benched instantly. If you sign a big player, big deal player to your team,
especially like whenever they got Hook, like the narrative around that was like he's going to change the team and like that's going to make them an instant like contender. Like
I think the thing with that though is that it sucks for the player, because they probably, if Thieves were a smart business, which they are, like they'll probably keep Hook until next season and just try out a team that's built around him. Like that's what I think happens. I think if anything right now, you let his ass go grind in challengers, and that was one thing that they were also talking about.
Do you think the idea is that he's not good at Cold War? Like he's just not good enough at the game?
That he's not a good enough team player.
Right. Well, because I've heard a lot about, because he was really good in.
Yeah, because let's talk about like okay, so the beginnings of games, we always say the optic is really good because at the beginning of the games, it's raw talent. Like raw talent will get you to chips like the first event, maybe the second event. But after that,
Early
people
in
are
the
learning
year.
how to play the actual game, like
Well,
how
you're right.
to trade efficiently and stuff like that.
There's a mix of like raw talent and like traditional COD
Exactly.
teamwork.
Yeah. Like we're gonna play body stacks and trades and shit because that's all we know.
Right. But like, but this game is so like teamwork oriented, like compared to MW. Like Black Ops 4 was a super team oriented game and it didn't do well in that.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna get at, because like Treyarch games are like typically slower paced, like more like traditional COD, and if you look at the games that he's been really good in, like AW or
individual
Modern Warfare,
games,
right? It's like it's those type of games.
Yeah. So I think that they keep him through, and maybe I think if the org is good to him, which I really hope that they are, like to their players, and I would think that they are, just because it's Nate Shot and you learn a lot from being with Hex as well as just being a player and how to treat players as a former one. I think that it would be really smart if they kept him and was like, hey, we want you on the starting lineup, but you have to become like a better player.
Right. Yeah. I'm also curious to see if there's going to be any more shuffling in their lineup, because they did say he was only down like benched temporarily. So I'm interested to see if anybody else will get benched or switch out.
One angle we haven't considered yet too. I have no evidence of this too, but it's just something to think about. What if Hook's just not invested anymore because he's won world champs?
Right. Well,
and now it's like I've won Halo championships.
There's a little bit of talk.
I'm a COD world champion.
Right. There's a little bit of talk like
I'm making big money in the COD league. Who cares if I never win again?
He plays a lot of Valorant type shit, and so like he's like not grinding or whatever. Which
he's got a girl now too.
Exactly. This is just stuff that I've seen
in this different part of his life where he's like,
I don't know.
We have no evidence of that.
Yeah, I feel like that's
just sort of a theory.
Is just like almost like slander to people.
It is because it's total speculation. But I would think just another angle of it though. He stayed on the Empire roster. He's in the clear best team. They just won the big one. Going into this next game, he might have been kind of hitting cruise control.
Yeah,
because he was supposed to be on the best team going into this year. Not really needing to worry. We don't know.
I disagree. Just because at the beginning of the game, the top two SMGs in the game were Abizi and Hook.
He was, yeah.
He was top two. He was top two SMG the first 3 events. No, yeah, 2 events, because then the third is whenever Dallas got like a bat, or did they get 3 second places? I think they got.
I don't remember.
They might have got 3 or 4. Either way, but I don't think it wasn't that he was grinding. I just think that it's his play style. And again, I hope that the coaching staff like invest into Hook and goes, we want to make you a better player so you can be on our starting lineup. I think they should allow him to play in challengers. And just go grind that shit out, dude. Like they were talking about that on PJ and Lottie's podcast of like, what if they just do that? What if they go, okay, like you want to be on the starting lineup? Here's what we want you to do. We'll go over film with you all the time, like anytime that you want. Go grind in challengers.
Because there's a lot of money in challengers.
There's a lot of money in challengers. There's a lot of good competition in challengers. I don't think Hook just goes over there and shits on everyone.
Right.
Like I think that maybe as a player he goes over there and shits on everyone, but I don't think. What I would care more about is, okay, how much are you winning? Because we know you can shit on anyone at any point in time. Like he dropped like, or they were talking about how they were watching the All-Star game. He started off 0-4 in S&D and then got 8 kills straight. Like that's how explosive of a player he is. And I think that'd be cool.
Obviously, we want to see Hook do well. We're big fans of Hook, have been since
AW
and obviously he came over and rocked it in Halo for a couple years.
How many Halo kids know him from Stunner? Yeah,
none
of you. Or from Carnage. He was on Carnage and fucking Ghost, dude.
And the Ghosts, and that fool came up. But also, it was funny how a lot of people were talking about like, people were complaining. This was when the general speculation about like Eve's lineup was going around, and people were talking about like, you can't put TJ and Hook on the same team. They've never played together. They don't know what the fuck. And we were like, didn't they like go pro together?
Yeah, they went pro together. They got set. They were, dude. I forget how that series went with Optic, but like, I think they were just such a talented team.
Pretty
They're
sure
so
Optic.
good.
I'm pretty sure Optic smoked them.
They
But
smoked.
like,
I'm pretty sure they like 3-0'd them really quickly.
they were good though.
They were good.
were
They
really
shit
good.
on everybody else to get to grand finals,
Yeah,
and then Optic just smoked them.
Extremely individually talented and
yeah.
like
it showed.
yeah,
That
you could
is-
see-
that-
but Optic edged them out because they were just. I mean, Jesus, that Optic roster was so stacked.
And,
You know
and
what's
they were
crazy,
hungry
Sam?
at that point because
Yeah.
they were after some championships.
That was right after they lost the first event too. They
Yeah,
lost to Slasher, Aches, Censor.
Enter shit on them in the finals.
I forget who the last person was. on that
Slasher
team.
Aches.
App.
It was App. Yeah.
Censor App. Yeah.
That finals was crazy because that was like the first time first time anybody had seen. I guess because that was the first Jetpack game, so that was the first time
Yeah.
anybody had seen anything that fast paced or like fucking crazy. And I just remember
Yeah,
how
I remember.
and
Out of all
Uplink.
people.
That was the first time we saw Uplink.
Dude, I remember Aches clutching around on what's that
Biolab.
Biolab.
He
Yeah.
like planted in the purple room and then he like zipped down over to the elbow, and it was like so because like we had him watch pros it was a 1v1 situation like him versus Formal, and he like
Yeah.
planted it and it was just like. And
Yep.
like he didn't have good movement, but it was still early in the game. But the
Right.
point was, it's just like this is weird because S&D is normally not like this at all. You don't get to just
Right. Plants
zip
the
out
bomb
and
and
fucking-
pew pew pew.
yeah,
he just
you
zips
gotta, like,
away.
play. Like
Yeah, like you like usually whenever you're like playing COD, like you run away from that bomb and you're like, I fucking hope I'm not getting defused on right now.
Yep.
I
Like,
hope I'm
you're,
not getting
like-
shot in the back. I hope I don't get timing on this peak.
Yeah. You run all the way around, and by the time that you're like here and the bomb's here, you're like,
I could be indefused right now. I'm fine.
That's why, bro, the
hope-
super lap was
I hope-
busted in AW. You remember like Riot S&D? Plant the
Yep,
bomb
it was
over by
so
the little
fast.
jail thing and then just fucking zoom, just put the flyer on the map. Be posted up on top of the other little building, the security building and shit.
That shit was
AW,
wild.
for the record, AW is a fire ass game. I love that game.
There we go, folks. Back in.
Dope maps, fun gameplay. I like that game.
Standoff is back.
Standoff is
S&D
back in COD.
apparently-
Yeah, I'm hyped to see that.
Yeah, I'm actually gonna play some COD at some point.
Yeah, because I'd love to see how that shit plays.
Yeah.
But, yeah.
For sure.
You know what
Uh,
game would be really sick? Like if they made a COD that had like a lot of they made a game that had a lot of like individual skill, like around the fights, but also a lot of teamwork and like kind of like an arena style. Infinite. I'm talking about Infinite.
Yeah.
It'd be really sick if they made Infinite and released it. So
Yeah, no,
yeah.
Speaking of Infinite, we have a date on hopefully our triumphant return. June 13th is the Xbox showcase at E3. I believe it's a Sunday afternoon. And
fuck.
in the picture that they showed, there was all type of Infinite Spartans, and they had different armor and shit.
Look good.
And it looked
did.
good. They had some Reach armor in there. It was like the little Emil armor with the skull on the visor. Some cool looking Spartans, a cool looking image, and certainly intriguing. Because hopefully we are going to see multiplayer gameplay and several other things. Hopefully.
I want to say this now. I want to get this on the record now. This is not going to be observable properly for another couple of years because we really have to see how the skill gap, the skill ceiling rises when Infinite comes out. But if it's not harder than Halo 5, as you know, this is, I'm not going to be mad. That's fine. It's a different game. I will be that prick that maintains, though, that Halo 5 was the most skill-based Halo. And
Yeah.
I will point that out, and I will never let it go if it doesn't expand on, like,
Guys,
I'm fine
I'm
with it,
inclined to
like,
agree.
not being as complicated, but, like, it would
Guys.
make, for me, it's, like, it's inspiring how the skill ceiling keeps rising in Halo 5. And I
Yeah,
just really
it
want
does.
that for that game.
Also,
but it's
June
also
13th, if the Spartan runs and then thrust slides somewhere, me and
Gus
Clay
and I are
aren't
gonna be
gonna hear
pissed.
We're not gonna hear the end of it,
We're gonna be
brother.
pissed.
That's gonna be
There's
the
thrust.
podcast name. He thrust
Ooh.
slides.
Dude, wait, what was that shit you said earlier, Cole? You said to me in the middle of a game. You said
Oh,
thrust
Thrust
slide.
right?
Yeah,
I was trying to say thrust slide. I fucked it up like 5 times.
I thought
He's
about
like,
it
he's left
whenever,
right. He's left right. He's
less
sliding.
thriding. He's less thriding. She was so
That
funny.
reminds me whenever I forget who said it, but someone was like, "He's thrust sliding into my bussy." Oh my god!
Clay talks about Bussy all the time, bro.
Yeah, that would have been me.
Cole learned what Thrusty means not too long ago.
I mean, it's not like it was hard to figure out, but
It wasn't hard to figure out, but you had never heard it before.
that's true.
But I don't have any like actual dead ass predictions or anything. But I just know I'm hoping to see multiplayer shit. I want to see what that sniper do. I want to see some grapple action and some cool shit, and maybe a little bit more campaign would be pretty tight.
Then I started.
I imagine we'll probably get all of those questions answered. Maybe
I genuinely don't know what to
probably-
expect.
I don't know.
we'll
about
probably only
multiplayer.
get a fucking glimpse of the
Right.
snipe. Like maybe oh, they see somebody, he zooms in, blades them. Like that type beat.
Also the BR, we haven't seen the BR yet.
Yeah,
I think
we got a
see
little
lot of that.
screenshot of it,
Right,
and it
but
didn't
I
look
wanna-
very good. So I really hope that they improve.
You didn't think it looked
some
good?
of the visuals. It looks like Halo 5
like-
in that way. It looks like it's just like
He also looked like he had a big ass scope to me.
that shit looked like plastic. You know, the reveal we saw last summer, that shit looked like plastic. Like,
Did.
it's just what it was. I hope they improved on that. If they didn't, it is what it is. But
Right.
I hope they improved on it.
Because I think we've expressed this sentiment before, but we don't give a shit. Like, the game doesn't have to be pretty for us to play it. We would certainly like it to. We would like it if the game didn't look like Roblox. That'd be nice.
Yeah. Yeah. No, I mean, you called it that Roblox looking ass game, but like Valorant establishes an aesthetic type and stays in that lane.
Right.
You don't
sure.
have to sit there and be like, that tree doesn't look real at all. Of course it doesn't. Doesn't matter. But like they set that, and like Halo
can make
kind of
that
doesn't
look
have that
pretty,
luxury, but they can kind of just stay within their own art style and like just kind of. Now they could do that, and it seems like what they're trying to do, but they could not take the plastic ass looking textures from Halo 5 and do the same thing again.
Yeah. But also,
'cause, yeah.
what I was going to mention a second ago, sort of similarly, was like there's potential for there to be differences within the Halo titles, sort of similar to the way we were talking about COD earlier. How like from COD to COD, it could be totally like this one is skill based, and this one is more teamwork, and this one looks super arcade-esque, and this one looks super realistic. You know.
And this
Mono-
one's
yeah.
kind of floaty. This one's more
Right,
grounded.
exactly.
Stuff like that.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
obviously, like we were talking about like the skill gap continuing to rise in Halo 5 and shit, and how if it's maybe less complicated, that might not be a thing in Infinite, and we would miss it. Which I agree with, but obviously, something else would take its place in the meta. You know, it would become teamwork or whatever the thing is.
Yeah, I think I don't know. As long as you add sprint and clamber, and you add game modes that make it very interaction based, I think it could still just be, a fast paced game. But
Yeah.
I didn't play Halo 4. Was Halo 4 like a fast paced game?
No, it was slow as fuck, and I'll tell you exactly why. There's no descope, and the grenades were absolute nukes. Also, your sprint to fire time was really slow, so you really couldn't punish people by like sprinting on like advantages, and there was no punishments for staying back because you could shoot long distance accurately as long as you wanted.
Yep.
So, no, it was slow, and it was ass.
Yeah,
I mean, it was that, and the shield recharge times were really long, so people didn't, like if you got hurt, you just stayed back and fucking shot long range.
I think more now though is people just using slide and clamber to get out of sticky situations in their thrust. Like in the stage that we are in Halo 5 now. Like
Oh yeah,
people
no.
just
Oh,
calibrate
yeah.
their ass.
Yeah.
So like,
today,
that's what I'm saying. Like maybe that's the
way-
direction that Halo goes. And
The
it
way
doesn't
I
need
take
to-
fights, I don't know how your two brains work, but Justin probably does it similar to me. Clay, you probably just fucking punch your controller. I don't know what the hell's ever going on in your head. But like I'm standing there on
practice.
LR. Yeah, I'm standing there on LR today, and I'm looking down at Soda. This guy close, right? I get 3 on him, and I'm immediately thinking like, all right, he's 2-shot. What's he gonna do? He's gonna use a thrust. He's gonna try to jump and clamber up to LR, get close to me, and make this shit weird. Like I'm immediately considering those options because of the point of Halo 5 we're in.
Mhm.
Year one, only good players, like really top players, would have thought to like actually try to like clamber and weasel rather than just put the most damage out possible and call for
No,
your
bro,
teammates' help.
everybody in matchmaking plays like Ola now.
Yeah,
Yeah,
dude.
Like the way they
Yeah,
try to live and
people
shit,
go-
and like running down to sewers on rig and jumping on
So,
this and jumping on
in a
that and
fight
Cali
where I'm up
clambering
3
and
shots
fucking.
like that, like I get first shot and then I get 3 on him. I'm up in that fight, and it should be pretty reasonably. 3 years ago, that's a free kill, but now it's like I gotta think about what this kid's gonna do because I can fuck around and get shit on really quick.
3 years ago, you could have blasted him with your AR.
Yeah, right.
You bring out the storm rifle.
Yo, I was getting storm rifle the other day and was genuinely offended. I was like, no shot, you just pulled out the skill gap on my ass.
No, but yeah, like fucking shoulder peeking is something that I thought was only a COD thing, but like
shoulder
now
peeking,
I see
Cali clambering.
Cole saw me do it. Holy shit, no one can talk. Cole saw me do it the other day on Collie. Whenever you were like, "Oh, Justin just shit on him," I shoulder peeked his ass first, and then I went out to 5 him. I was like,
yeah, I mean, that is a thing that existed in previous Halos, but
that's like a Halo 2 thing. Yeah,
it is right. Halo 2 worked a little better because it hits KMBR. Like Halo 3, that became less of a thing. I mean, people did
shotting,
it was less effective because of you had to leave your shots projectile-based bullets and a full burst. So you have to stick out for the full burst, pop back in. But yeah, in Halo 5, anything with like reach, same way you can just like pop out and just be shooting one shot. Yeah.
But sort of what Justin said, it's interesting. Like if you look at COD, like back, and I know we keep talking about COD, but it's just because the three of us have all played a lot of COD, so it's our easiest comparison.
It's our other first-person shooter.
Yeah. But if you look at COD, like look at Black Ops 2 and the movement in that game compared to the movement in the last few CODs, like even minus the advanced movement, like it's all slide canceling and like all that kind of shit. And so sort of to the point of like Halo, like that, like Justin said, we might have sliding and clambering and all that shit. That might just be the way that the game works now.
That's all I want. Yeah.
And
which I'm fine with.
Thrust.
I think that's cool.
Yeah, I think if you have running, you should have sliding.
Yeah, you should have, which they've already confirmed that we have all three of those things.
Yeah, because we've seen all of them.
Right. So, yeah, no, I totally agree. That's the thing. Like, yeah, you look at Black Ops 2, and now in the current game, it's by Treyarch. It's 10 years later. They're playing a lot of the same maps they played in Black Ops 2. The game largely plays the same, but if the players can move around the map so much more fluidly,
slide canceling, snaking,
the game
all that shit
flows better because the players can traverse the map a lot smoother because we just have these modernized additions into these games that are like, they started figuring it out around the same time because when Ghost came out, instead of the dolphin dive, if you held your crouch button while sprinting, you'd have like a delayed knee slide. It wasn't anything it wasn't anything you could work with and like get up and keep sprinting like you can see now. But like they started figuring that out, and now it's just like you look at Halo 5, you look at any modern shooter like that, and that type of base combat where you're sprinting and sliding different pieces of cover, peak shotting and all that, jumping and clambering, like that needs to stay. That's just the way that the game.
Because the reason those mechanics are so awesome is because that opens the door for players like Shotzi and
use the environments
Simp
around
and,
them.
Frosty and like all those
clamber
kind of
on things that people don't think you're going to slide under.
Exactly,
things,
changing the game, doing weird shit.
I think the most underrated compliment that people get nowadays in video games is you play so lame. Because like playing lame, like it's probably the right way to play.
Being frustrating to play against.
Yeah, like people call you lame either because like
people are getting pissed at you in the game. Like that's a good thing.
Yeah, like that's probably a good thing because you're pissing them off. It's making their game worse. They now like it's just I think it's better.
You play to win the game.
Exactly.
Yeah, like whenever you're in a fucking gunfight and they thrust and melee you and you go, oh, you're just so fucking lame. Like you got outplayed. You should have fucking tried.
Hold on. The other day, Justin, were you here for this, Clay? Dallas, somebody was playing with me when it was. No, I was playing on Torque against. I was playing against Article, and he had viewers in his stream. He's doing like viewer games. He's playing Team Slayer, and the game's getting pretty close. It's like crawling up to the 40s, and it's like tied, pretty close, 2 kill gap, whatever it is. And Brandon, who's in game chat with, dude, like this is fine. They win the game. I don't care. Like I'm not talking shit. Gets in his game chat he's in game chat with all his viewers who were playing with him. And he's like, yo, we're all going to go in the back of the base and fucking hide back there. And they all literally went back in like the back room. They had like 2 people up on the plat and the last 2 people were in the back room of the map. And then like, yeah, they ended up winning because they literally just sat there.
Oh yeah, just like the weirdest shit that you would never think of. And like we walked back there like looking around and like, where
so the point is like, yo,
at?
You play to win the game. They won the game. They did it. Am I going to say you're going to play lame? Yes. But hey, you fucking
goal, yeah. I guess just to throw that in there is just a general PSA is like if we're talking shit about you in the game, saying you're playing like a fucking weirdo, then probably a good thing.
Probably
pissing us off.
You're probably winning the game.
You're probably pissing us off, and you're probably winning. So, more power to you. But yeah, we are dummy hyped for June 13th, and we hope y'all are. Not sure exactly where all that shit's gonna take place. It's in the Xbox showcase, so I assume it's just gonna be on official Xbox streams.
Probably on like Twitch or something
Stuff like that. I'm sure you'll be able to find it on Twitch and YouTube. Shout out to Skittles, boy.
Say hi.
Actually got the chance to meet him and hang out with the boy, Skiptorius.
The notorious SIKP. SI. No. We'll just stop.
He's no, you called him Skiptorius CAT.
Yeah, Skiptorius CAT.
Yeah.
I was like, I said something like that.
Yeah. But yeah, I actually just to sort of round us off, I went and kicked it with Justin in Houston again a couple weeks ago, down in Houston for about a week, and Justin and I chilled out, went to a Rockets game, had a good old time, vibing, eating some food and shit. Which we actually saw one of the games that the Clippers lost on purpose to dodge the Lakers.
Watch the Clippers fold.
We watched the G League ass boys on the Rockets, torch Boogie Cousins. But we did have a lot of fun. It was a good time.
Yeah, that was the first time that I was at a basketball game, and honestly, I wish we would have won. I wanted to go see the Astros play some baseball, but I don't know, man.
You're gonna piss me off. Don't piss me off real fast. I wanted to go to a baseball game, and bro, that's why I was literally sitting in the call with Cole and Justin. This was like, I was so pissed off that night. Sitting in a call with Cole and Justin. My Discord was fucking up on my laptop. My mic was, not working and shit, so I couldn't chill in Discord with the boys. And then I was like, yo, let's go to an Astros game. Not because I like the Astros, because fuck the Astros, they're cheaters. But because they were playing the Angels, who have the best player in the universe, Mike Trout, who was not injured at the time, who's still playing. So I really wanted to go see them, and as soon as I mentioned that shit through my laggy ass mic, sort of half yelled it across the room, instantly shut down by both of my best friends, told that baseball sucks for 20 minutes.
I said, no, I'm not gonna go to that. Baseball's lame. And Cole went on a 20-minute tangent about why baseball sucks compared to all the other sports.
About how it's easily the worst spectator sport. And no, I get it. You didn't have to. No, don't. No, no.
It's the worst.
Thank you guys for watching. We're gonna sign off. You're gonna tilt me real fast.
I like baseball, dude. You know I like baseball, but it's the
Shut up.
Lame. That's the fact.
Judas.
Dude, like, you know how, like, there's those, like, family traditions that you do, and it's, like, it's kind of fun, but also it's kind of not, but you're like, I'll play ball. Something kind of in that realm. That's baseball.
The
like,
Braves America's have a Chick-fil-A in the stadium.
They're like, yeah, dude, baseball, it's America's pastime. Everybody loves it, right? Yeah, we love it.
I don't love it.
Yeah, most people don't love it.
Shut up! Baseball's cool,
but
man.
There's something about a baseball game,
In baseball, okay, in baseball's defense, baseball is trying actively to get cooler. And there's plenty of hype-ass players hitting plenty of home runs and getting hype and turned. And it's cooler now than it was 2 years ago.
They didn't retire until like 49 or some shit. At least Clay's character did.
Yeah, bro, I was playing the show and my shit glitched and they wouldn't let me retire. So I had to play until I was 46 and they forced me to retire. I was Barry Bonds in that bitch.
Clay was like, bro, I'm the oldest player in the league. And I kept seeing his coach, who was an old-ass man. I was like, bro, they won't let you retire and you look like that?
Yeah.
He's like, no, that's my coach.
Yeah, the coach was all gray hair and shit. And he was like, damn, retire. But yeah.
Damn, Mo.
Aside from baseball,
on the field?
Speaking of sports
ball.
We got the NBA playoffs going on at the moment, which I know Cole and I are very, very pleased about and are keeping up with closely. And we're trying to get Justin in on the bullshit.
I've been watching.
Justin has been low key watching. But yeah, we watched.
Word.
I'm just kidding, bro. I'm just kidding, dude. No. I was kidding. Nothing would make me happier if you like texted the group chat and you were like, "Look at this thing that this player did." I would have been like, "Yes, Justin.
Yes.
No, fuck y'all. I'm actually one of my brother's friends who does like a rec league for basketball. I'm gonna start playing basketball with him.
Oh, you finna join the church league?
Yeah,
this fool's about to be out here going, yay! Let's raining them.
Hell yeah, bro.
I think we told that story on the podcast, but
we already did.
That was pretty funny.
Justin's a hooper, and he throws it over him with one arm, and that's all he needs.
Absolutely smoked. Mr. Church League himself.
just the big man on the court. I don't know what you want from me.
Churchill, you
Kareem
gotta get
Abdul-
beat.
Kareem Abdul-Mendoza.
Yeah, facts, dude.
Going to throw the sky hooks.
Bro,
Bro, no, the worst. we
Jesse
talked
saw
about this
Justin
too on the
coming from
podcast,
afar.
But the real quick, we were at this lake. We're in this lake with the fucking basketball. There's a basketball hoop floating over there. Out there having the best time. Great day. And everybody just bombs one across the lake and makes it, except for me. So like I'm out there just throwing my arm out. Justin did it like first try. Were you the first person to do it, or did somebody else do it? And then you were like, "Let me see it." And you were just like, "Ow."
Yeah, it was something like that.
It was easily 50,
Cole I would after
from
I
the
did
water.
it the
Like
first
it wasn't
time,
close.
yeah, after I did it the first time, I was like, I don't want to fucking do this anymore. It's gonna throw out my arm. But I went out there and got the ball, and a lot of times Cole's like, "Give it to me, give me the ball, give me the fucking ball." I remember that, and then I fucking went out there and everyone was doing flips, and I was like, I'm gonna do a flip. I haven't done a flip in a minute, and you're like, you really don't have to do a flip if you don't think you can do it. I was like, I'm gonna do a flip, and my big ass went out there. I did a flip.
He was like, listen, man.
Didn't you
don't
land
have to
like
do this,
flat
you
on
don't
like
have
a lower back though?
No,
You,
no,
like, fuck your shit up?
I did a front flip. I landed.
Yeah,
That's all
that's
you
what-
did.
Oh.
And I go down. I come up. There's like I was screaming already in the water. Like at first I was gargling water from me like yelling in pain.
Oh,
Holy
dude,
shit.
yeah. And then I went down the water slide that we had there on my knees. Like,
oh, dude,
just
that
on my
looked like
knees.
it hurt
and
so
then it was only like 2 feet deep at the base of it. So I go straight into it. And then my knees are fucking like literally bleeding. I came out, my knees were bleeding because the sand just like shoved into them.
Fucked up his knees on a device, bro.
It fucked him up on a device, bro.
Damn.
Bad. And then we went down the shit backwards and like tried to surf it. That shit was fun.
that was a good time.
It was a really good time.
Shout out to
But
Jesse.
you weren't there for that one, unfortunately.
Wasn't there for that one.
I don't remember
wish you were.
why either. I think
But,
you had to go back home.
Yeah, I don't know.
I don't know. But we're hopefully now that the boys are vaxxed, we might get to go kick it here soon. And I think we're gonna try to do some bullshit here in maybe a couple months. Yeah. NBA playoffs have been lit so far.
Dude, NBA playoffs, most exciting television there is to watch. Dude, especially the matchups this year are really good, and the games have been tight. A lot
Facts.
of not quite buzzer beaters, but we've already seen a lot of icing game shots that
And a couple.
leave the clock under a second.
Chris Middleton
It's
had a buzzer beater.
see, but that's not. It's like a buzzer beater. So did
It was
Trae Young.
game
but it's like,
winner. Yeah, it was like
game winner
with
with
like
under a second left on the
2/10 of a
board.
second left, right?
Yeah, it's like
Yeah.
the game. It's not quite a buzzer beater, but the games have
Right,
been coming out of the
exactly.
wire.
Yeah.
And it's been lit.
Both the playing games were hype as hell. Lakers Warriors was sick. LeBron
Warriors Grizzlies was sick.
Warriors Grizzlies was sick too. LeBron hitting the three
Ja icing
over
up.
Curry that shit's got to be like iconic.
Oh, it was.
Oh,
That's an instant classic.
Right,
That game's
yeah.
an instant classic, no question.
And
And
but then
Ja icing
Grizzlies
up
Warriors, yeah, Ja turning
for
up.
back-to-back possessions, back-to-back floaters. That shit was
Yeah.
hard.
Plus
He popped off as
Ja
he
was
should've.
5 of 10 from three. Ja was hitting his threes because they were leaving him open and shit.
Dude, Marcus Saul had a great game last night. His refrigerator ass was knocking down threes.
X, dude. Did you see the one where he was like,
Dude,
he was like,
if they didn't make
eh.
It
They left him
okay,
open.
like,
He stood there for
first
5
of all,
seconds and went.
Gasol is a solid 3-point shooter. He's reliable if he gets an open shot. Like he's not a center that's discouraged from shooting like threes like that. So he's solid. Which is the point that he had like literally 6 seconds to line that up, and if he would have missed it, it would have been so
Right.
bad.
No, they left his ass wide ass open.
Because they
and he stood there for 5 seconds.
They didn't move for him. He like literally looked down, set his feet, make sure he's behind the 3-point line, and then
Yep. And then shot it, bro. It took
And he
so
made it.
long.
and he made it.
And then Reggie Miller
thankfully,
immediately
but,
is like, nice concentration.
well, it's like, dude, yeah, don't fuck that up because
Right.
you did. Anyways, it's
But,
lit. You should watch it. Basketball's sick. Best sport on the planet, no question. Best spectator sport. I can't really talk about playing it because I'm not a hooper, but I really like watching it. So
I do think it's the best spectator sport.
I totally agree.
But yeah, basketball's sick. But yeah, do y'all have anything else before we wrap it up? I think this has been a pretty solid episode.
Yes, I do actually. Lakers in 5.
Lakers in 5. You could have a Murray, you could have a Curry or a McFlurry. Lakers in 5.
Bitch, Lakers in 5.
Bitch, Lakers in 5. All right. We hope y'all have enjoyed.
Wait, hold on. If we don't get another podcast out before the postseason ends, everybody hot take. Let's say who we feel is going to take home the chip this year in the NBA. Actually, just pick an East and the West.
Brooklyn's making it out
Hopefully
the
we'll
East.
have
Brooklyn blasted Boston in Game 2. They're making it out the East.
Boston's done.
Facts. Boston wasn't going to do anything anyway, but still. Brooklyn's making it out
It's
the
either
East.
Brooklyn or it's Milwaukee. Philly could surprise us, but I don't think they will.
I think whoever, I don't know how the seeds work. Like, I don't know who they play in the second round. Like, I don't know if they're going to play Milwaukee or Brooklyn. But I think Milwaukee, well, I think both of those teams could beat Philly, actually. So, but yeah. And then I think the Lakers should make it out of the West. I really hope that the Mavericks beat the Clippers, because that would make everyone happy.
Yeah, I mean, I think if the Lakers, it's looking like the Lakers are going to literally win this series against the Suns in 5, since Chris Paul's not able to be himself.
Yeah, damn, CP.
I mean, I think like the Lakers are favored in that series anyways, just being that they're defending champs, they have the size and they have the best defense in the league. Plus they have
Deep
one
ass
of the best
bench.
1-2 combos. Deep bench. That all said, Phoenix is a good team. Without CP3, they don't stand a chance. And if he can't play at 100% like he couldn't last night, they're fucked.
Yeah. But if we do
And
get the
if the Lakers take them in 5, I think the Lakers will get out the West.
Yes.
I think they'll have the momentum they need, and they'll be good.
I think the Lakers should make it out the West. If we get the Brooklyn LA finals, I think Brooklyn might take it this year.
It's hard to say. It's dude. Look, as much as I would love for the Lakers to repeat, I'm scared if that becomes.
Yeah,
the outcome.
I think the
If
Nets
that's
might have them
finals,
like 4-2 or some shit.
Either way, that will be a legendary finals matchup. So much talent on the
Yes,
floor. It would be
exactly.
amazing.
It's gonna be instant classics, all of them.
Okay, that's it. Basketball. We're gonna have a basketball podcast in the future, guys.
Yes,
Exclusively basketball.
yes,
So
yeah.
get ready to be annoyed with that.
We hope y'all have enjoyed this episode of the Wavelengths Podcast. I don't actually know which episode this is. We're like 13, 14,
I'll look it up.
15, something
I
like
was
that.
pretty sure that we were 13, 14. And I have an idea for episode 20 that we can talk about afterwards. That way.
Gang,
Don't do it.
We are. This
We'll
is
set
number 15.
expectations.
Hey, so
Number
episode
15.
15. So we hope y'all have enjoyed episode 15. We kind of jumped around and talked about a lot of different things this episode. I thought it was a pretty solid episode. We covered a lot of different things. But yeah, like I said, we're probably going, until things start to sort of pick up a little bit, we might still be taking it easy on the podcast. But we just never know. So we
Who
just kind of do
Maybe
these
we'll find
whenever we
out.
feel like it.
Maybe June 13th they announce a beta and we have more shit to talk about within the next
Maybe.
week.
Yeah,
Yo.
I do think for sure we'll try to get one out after the Infinite news. Like
Also,
E3 and stuff.
it's been 9 months since we released the last Wavecraft episode. So if you made it this far in the podcast, in the comments, encourage us to fucking make
back
it
on the
a
Wavecraft.
And also, if you haven't watched it, definitely watch all 3 of the Wavecraft episodes.
They're good
Definitely
episodes.
go watch the third one. The third one is some heat, and definitely what you can expect in the
Is that the one I rage quit in?
That's that's the second one. It's
The
it's
third one's the one where I edited it like really hard and like
With the polar bears?
It's like a bunch of yeah. So
I
Third
a
one's
bunch of
good.
good shit.
didn't want to say it. I didn't want to say it because I didn't know if I'd be spoiling anything. But yes,
It's a
it's the
whole
one
bunch of good
with
shit.
Polar
It's
Okay.
a really good video,
Yeah.
and it only has 129 views, which I'm not upset about. I understand. I'm just saying, I think
Yeah.
you guys would enjoy it. It's a really good
Yeah,
video.
definitely.
I'm
We
gonna rewatch it tonight.
love
Dude,
this channel.
we could rewatch it right as soon as we get done with this
fucking am.
episode.
I'm down. I'm
We're
down.
doing it.
All right, that's it.
See, we're gonna do it. You guys should do it.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Just
for
saying.
sure,
All right.
for sure.
If you think we're cool and we do cool shit, you think we're all hot girls and do hot girl shit.
I can't talk about doing hot girl shit.
Caleb just said hell yeah in the back.
Hell yeah.
Hell yeah.
But yeah, we do love this channel. We love making content for this channel. So
Yes,
definitely
yes.
encourage us with some shit that y'all want to see in the comments. Get after us. Also, if you're listening on Spotify or iTunes or wherever, go check out the YouTube. Hit us up on Twitter at WavelengthsCX. And then if you're watching, links are in the description. You can listen wherever you get your podcasts, all that stuff, and all our links are down there as well.
One more thing, I just want to if you guys really like the Wavelengths channel, like Clay was just saying, this is not something that we're avoiding doing. We really like doing it. It's just this is something that is in like kind of our rear view at the moment, something we're doing in the back burner, but we really like this channel. We have big plans for this channel.
Mhm.
And if you're a fan of this channel and you don't see them go, like it's been 2 months since our last podcast, I don't want you guys to sit there and be like, man, I wish they would have stuck with this Wavelengths project, because we have and we are. So
We are, and like I
Yes.
said, we got some big plans for this shit.
We do.
Just the way that this thing works, guys, and the way that it works for us right now is that it has to be a passion project. We can't make it work.
Mhm.
Like you just can't. Like, or else you'll get episodes where we kind of make it really short. Like I think there was one episode that we didn't ever upload, right? Because it was bad.
I mean,
Yeah.
it just is this. Like yesterday, Justin was just like, I'm too annoyed to record the podcast right now. Great, so we move it to tomorrow. That's all we need to do. There's no reason to be like, no, dude, like get in here.
Yeah.
It's a passion project, so we want to just make sure it's all
The whole point. Is
Yeah.
that
And
we
it's
get
been a
on,
pleasure.
make contact whenever
It's
we're
been
all
over
on
a
the same
year.
wavelength.
It's been over a year. It's been a pleasure, gentlemen. I gotta say.
It's been over a
we've
year
done-
on this channel.
We were very clear going into this. We had one conversation between the three of us. Like, this is not gonna be something we're gonna stress over.
Mhm.
This is gonna be something we all enjoy doing.
Because leading up to this, it was stress.
It was very stressful to even
And
bit the
you
fucking
didn't talk
channel
about
name.
it. Yeah.
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 It was bad.
But
So-
it's interesting that you should bring that up because the fact that we have this channel now, we've had it for over a year, and I think we've put out some pretty good content. Like, there's a vlog, there's some Minecraft episodes, there's a couple like campaign videos. Like, I think we've put out some good stuff.
The vlog is fire too.
I think we've put out some good stuff on this channel so far, and we want to continue to do that and make cool stuff that is maybe Halo related or maybe a little bit different. But we love making content, the three of us. Shit's awesome. So. Yeah, with that being said, we love you guys. Appreciate you guys watching and listening. Remember, like I said, if you're watching, links are in the description. Get down in the comments. Hit us up at WavelengthsCX on Twitter, and also suggest whatever podcast topics you might want us to talk about. But yeah, with that said, we love you guys, and we will catch you guys in the next one. Later, everybody.
Peace.